What's up, y'all? It's your host, Polo, and you tuned into another hot episode of Let's Pop About It TV. Today, we're breaking down a heavy situation that's got the world talking. President Donald Trump, U.S. troops, and this rising heat with Venezuela. Is this about to turn into another war, or is it just a power play? Let's pop about it. The tension started back in August 2025 when the U.S. sent warships and Marines toward the Southern Caribbean, saying it was all about cracking down on Venezuela's president. Nicolas Maduro wasn't having it. He mobilized 4.5 million militia members and started calling this an act of aggression. By September, the U.S. had already launched multiple strikes on boats near Venezuelan waters, claiming they were part of a drug trafficking network. One of the first strikes killed 11 people. From September through October, the U.S. kept the pressure on striking several more vessels, some near international waters. Then in late October, it got real serious when Trump deployed the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, the biggest move the U.S. has made in that region in over 30 years. And word is, the Pentagon has identified possible land targets inside Venezuela, though no confirmed invasion order has dropped. Trump even said recently that Maduro's days are numbered. So, you can see where this might be heading. The official U.S. stance is this: they're going after drug traffickers. But experts in the United Nations are calling these strikes extrajudicial executions. Some say this is less about drugs and more about control, resources, and power in Latin America. Maduro's government has been putting troops on the border, moving Russian-made weapons, and warning that any U.S. strike will be seen as an act of war. He's also been leaning on China and Russia for backup if things go sideways. Listen, this might start as a drug war, but it could easily slide into something much bigger. We've seen this play before where anti-terror or talk turns into full-blown regime change. You got carriers in the Caribbean, special ops on standby, and talk of CIA missions on Venezuelan soil. Sounds like more than just a boat patrol to me. What y'all think, is Trump really going to pull the trigger on Venezuela, or is this just pressure in politics? Drop a comment, hit that like, and subscribe. Now, this your boy Polo. And this is Let's Pop About It TV, where we keep it real, raw, and uncut. See the world shifting. You got big nations teaming up while America's got folks arguing over food stamps. That's the setup. They keep us distracted while the big moves happen behind the curtain. So ask yourself, are we ready if the system breaks down again? Drop a comment. Let me know if y'all think it's time to prep, or if you think it's all just political smoke. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this message, because this ain't fear talk. This is awareness talk. I'm Polo. This is Let's Pop About It TV, where we talk about what they don't.
In the coming hour. What are we expecting from that visit?
Yeah, just as there's tension between the Trump administration and Venezuela, quite a lot of it, there's a $15 million bounty for President Nicolas Maduro that the US has put on his head. There's tension, a lot less so, but still there, with Mexico. That's partly because the United States, President Trump signed a directive with the Pentagon saying, the US Department of Defense, saying that the US military could act against drug organizations, and some of those were in Mexico, and that's then pushed on to something that he's talked about before, actually, saying that he'd offered to send the US military to Mexico to fight drug trafficking organizations. That's something that this president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has really rejected. She's saying this country's already doing enough to stop them. So that will undoubtedly be something that the Secretary of State from the US discusses when he arrives in Mexico.
Okay, thank you very much for the update. John Holman there.